Recording now. So, hi everybody, welcome to issue 4 of Masks Neighbourhood, where we're playing a Marvel Knights inspired sort of genre of a mask game. We're in a local neighbourhood, Tri-Town, which connects into the village. Our team, the Gridlock Guardians, have had a run-in with someone who was sent to assassinate Quiver. And the cliffhanger at the end of last game was to pull off the White Rabbit's mask and find out that White Rabbit is actually Quiver's father, and neither of them knew that they were supervillain or superhero. And at this present moment in time, White Rabbit still doesn't know who Quiver is. We are playing on the Gauntlet. We are playing under their inclusivity and support policies. We are using the X card. We are using lines and veils, which we have set up and rechecked ourselves in on at the start of this game. We are using script change in case we want to pause, rewind, fast forward to get clarification, or just course if we need to. And we have a cooldown move where we will be using stars and wishes at the end of the game to see what we really enjoyed as a sort of a celebration and what we're looking to do in the next issue. So with no further ado, let me paint the scene, which is as we open the cover to issue 4. We are in, it's a sort of like mostly black on this panel.
Wait a moment. Before we set the big scene and I say something wrong, guys, what does it mean, chip off the old book, exactly?
Chip off the old block.
Block.
Yeah, chip off the old block is an English or British English colloquialism that sort of means, sometimes you might see a cut from the same cloth, but it basically means you're very much like your parent. Okay, cool. So chip off the old block, cut from the same cloth. They're colloquialisms that describe cool. That type of
cool. Just what I needed. Thank you.
Yeah, is that all okay?
Yes.
Okay, so panel 1, full page. We can see the only light is around the tied up White Rabbit in their suit. The mask is in Oriflamme's hand, as Oriflamme, played by Gerwin, Quiver, played by Pavel, Nox, played by Lara, and Dynamic, played by Will, are in a circle around this scene. Whose jaw has dropped the furthest when they pulled that mask away and saw it was Kilgrove?
I think Dynamic presses the button on his camera on the GoPro that he's got attached to him. He's like, nope.
Yeah, I think from Quiver we see that he was probably aiming at White Rabbit to convince him to surrender, and now his arrow goes back, his bow goes down, and yeah, he's in shock for the moment.
Fuck, and throw the mask against the wall.
It clangs. It's clearly armor designed where people might shoot at it, but it clearly clangs at the wall as this happens, and Kilgore, is sort of looks up and smiles at Dynamic with a sort of crooked, villainous smile and says, "Hey, is this going to affect our deal?"
Well, is it, Dynamic? Is it going to affect your deal?
I mean, yeah. I mean...
Just what the fuck did you tell him?
I told him... I mean, I'm looking over at Quiver and I'm just like, looking back at Oriflamme, looking over at Quiver, looking back at Oriflamme, and I'm like, dude.
How much does he know?
Dude, maybe there are more important things than my deal. I know it's hard for me to...
Yeah, more important things like my fucking family.
Yeah, family. That might be a big problem, right? Yeah? Yeah?
Fuck.
Yeah, I suppose Quiver jumps down to the ground level, uh, and he says, "So you were trying to kill me, at least twice, I suppose. Well,
It's nothing personal, kid. You crossed the 5 families. It's just you had to be made an example of.
So
yeah,
what, was this deal just part of the strategy? Part of your tactic? I thought your kid looks up to me, man, and looks up to you. What have you done?
Hey, you leave him out of it. It's nothing to do with him. He
Hey,
knows nothing about this.
you brought him into it, man.
The deal would have been separate. You'd avenged the death, blah, blah, blah. Done what we wanted. Don't worry about it. This guy, he nods his head at Quiver. He's expendable.
oh, I'm expendable. Wow, that's something new to learn. And yeah, and Quiver starts like walking in a circle, like just not around Zag, but just like he's like clearly like losing his mind, and he says, "I'm expendable. I'm expendable." And he was like with one fell motion, he like takes off the balaclava and he stares his dad in the eyes and he says, "Tell me, please repeat to me, dear. Please repeat this to me because I don't get it. I'm expendable."
Oh, it sounds like you're trying to. Do you want to provoke them at the back of that? Do you want to pierce the mask?
Oh wow.
I feel like you've upped the drama enough to need to make a move.
I don't think I'm provoking him. Yeah, pierce the mask, I suppose. I want to see this reaction. So that's, I suppose, this one. I don't have anything to provoke him to. Oh, yeah, I think it's pierce the mask. I'm just thinking, what would the Quiver want? Yeah, let's go for with pierce the mask. +2. It was box cards. It's box cards again. I'm going to reroll it once again. Yeah. It's still 10 plus, so.
Okay, so you get to ask 3 questions from the provoke. Sorry, try that again. The pierce the mask list. Again, just to be clear, these are guidelines, right? If there's something that you really want to ask that's not within there, that feels within the tone of the move, you are more than welcome to do so.
I'm going to ask some questions, but right now I'm really looking for some family drama. I want to see his reaction, and then I'm going to ask some questions.
Sure. So he sort of looks at you, and that sort of that look on his face, which has been sort of snarling and condescending, melts away. The next 3 panels in the comic book are of that going into shock, going into terror, and then going into fear as he realized what he almost did. And he looks and sort of gasps out, "Cirrus, you're Quiver?"
Yes, Dad.
Sparky woofs.
Yeah, I suppose Sparky changes his demeanor. He comes and just wiggles around Dad because it's Dad. So, yes, that's me, Dad. So, can you at least tell me why? Whose toes have I stepped on so hard that they gave you a kill order on your own son? So I suppose I want to know what are they really planning?
That's fine. Yeah, he looks at you, and he's sort of clearly in a state of shock, and he says, you were messing with the drug deals in the skate park. Cheery Johnson put a kill order on you. Said it's what the families do. You can't be. There's no right place for examples in Tri-Town. You can't stand up. You have to bow down.
Well, Dad, I suppose that this is the moment where I tell you that chips don't always are from the same block. I am clearly made of a different clay than you are, and I will stand up and I will show those Chippy Johnson, whoever he is, his place.
Said, look, just get out of here. I'll transfer assets to you. You can make a break. This is all just about, if you leave, they just wanted to take him under their control, points at Dynamic, instead of the other two would have gone next. There's plans for this place. We're going to save it. That's why we're doing this.
Can I pierce the mask at this point? Because
Yeah, you can.
I've heard people say that Zach's wanting to save the place beforehand. I want to actually try and see whether he actually believes this or not. And I don't have the dice roller open. Which page is it on again?
Let me get that for you. It's in the chat already, but
On
let me just
safeties.
throw it in here.
That's okay.
It's
Roll
in
for
the-
your party.
I got it. There.
Thank you. Sorry, 2 seconds. And that'll be a failure.
Okay. So
That'd be a 5.
what do you think this is? Is this the truth or is this a crock?
I think this is a crock. I
Mhm.
think this is him basically just trying to get his son on side and save it. Fucking save it. But killing people? Fuck you. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I'm going to reach into my duffel bag that I carry,
Mhm.
and I'm going to pull out an alien blaster. And there's an ominous as it's starting to build up power.
Well, thank you so much for rolling into that fail for me, as Dynamic.
I want to yank that out of his hand, like out of her hand.
Look, the easiest way to deal with that is to do that. I think as a.
I'm just going to let you do that. I think
Yeah.
it's narratively appropriate. But
Mhm.
so it goes flying.
Yeah. What the hell?
What the fuck? He's a killer.
Yeah.
How many people has he killed? You saw what happened when we actually took them to the police last time?
Yeah.
He's going to get off. What
Yeah,
fucking
and-
evidence do we have?
Yeah. And you're going to kill our friend's father right in front of him.
No, but I'm going to put fucking weapon on him. Can't trust this fucker.
So at this point, Nox is probably going to put a hand on Oriflamme's shoulder and say, look, this is not the time to lose our heads right now. We still have a lot of questions for this guy. And she's kind of look over at Quiver, and you need to pull yourself together for Quiver right now. And I think I'm using my influence at that point.
It would sound to me like you're trying to provoke them, unless you're using a playbook move.
No, I'm not. Yeah, that works.
Cool. What did you roll?
Let me do that real quick.
You're rolling with Superior.
Yeah. So that is a 10.
Okay. So on a 10 plus, they do it, and you can add a team to the pool, or you don't do it, and they mark a condition. So you have a devil's bargain right in front of you. Oriflamme, how do you react to Nox telling you to take a chill pill?
I think the hand comes up and basically, yeah, up and squeezes the hand on the shoulder and fine.
Okay.
Can I have my blaster back now?
It's
You promised to be good and let Quiver deal with
Hey,
Quiver
listen.
shit, you know? I know you like to get involved in everything around here, but you're not the person who decides everything, right, Oriflamme?
I've told you before, cut it with this good and bad shit.
Good and bad. I'm talking about family.
Give me my blaster back.
I think
Jeez,
it got knocked into the corner. Let's leave the team
Yeah, yeah.
tantrums in a moment and refocus the
back onto
sort of the panel of you looking into your father's eyes, and he says, "I'm sorry. If I'd known it was you, I'd have got you out of here safely."
Believe me that I really didn't even envision this to go this. I thought you were like a legit businessman wanting to go to do good for the neighborhood, but and Quiver looks at Oriflamme and he says, "Listen, you told me before this mission that I am supposed to do something about my dad and about bringing him to justice. And this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take him to the police precinct, turn him in, and let the legal process do its job. And I don't know, no, we're going to hope that this time he doesn't slip off on a technicality."
Cyrus, man, you sure? This is your dad. Can you bring one of your parents to justice? And you know, like, what are they going to do when they find out about all this corruption and things?
Which corruption?
Your dad's Kilgore, like your whole business, your family. What are you going to do?
Isn't this the proper thing to do? Orson told me that I have to bring my dad to justice, and I think this is what the heroes should do. We should not take justice into our own hands, but we should capture and deliver them. And there are justice systems for like this. And I'm sure that there is outstanding warrants on his behavior. And yes, there will be problem. What else can I do? Do I just like let him go?
I'm living all of the loaded implications for Oriflamme here, by the way.
Cyrus, I'm your father. Whatever this is, if you let me go, I'll disappear. You'll never see me again. I'll change. I'm not that person. Not when it comes to you. You'll listen to me, right? I'm your father, and he's telling you who you are. I'm going to use his influence over you.
Yeah. Yes. So firstly, I'm going to look at him and say, right now you are not my dad, so I'm not listening to you.
So you're going to reject his influence, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a flat roll. You do have influence over him, so you will make this with a +1.
Wow. Yeah. I'm just checking my conditions.
You have 1 on provoke, which is you're feeling guilty.
Yeah. It's a 4 + 1. It's a 5.
So his words hit you hard, even if you do think you are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You're going to mark a condition. How are you feeling? How do you feel when he tells you this? It's what condition you're going to mark.
Yeah. At the beginning, I said that the Cyrus fights with hopelessness. I think it's hopelessness. Come on, his dad was after him.
Actually, can I spend a point of team here?
On influence, no.
Okay.
So I'm going to mark hopelessness.
Okay. And what if we had a thought bubble? If we saw what does Quiver say to this? Let me go, plea from your father.
Who had the thought bubble? Yeah, I think the thought bubble is that you are still my dad, and I really didn't want this to come to this, and I have no idea what to do. And they're
Well,
like
I'm gonna
a
put
mountain of
your
and like a full line of question marks.
I'm gonna put your mundane up, and I'm gonna put your savior down as we see you struck by by what's going on in your mind. He says,
But since I have one more question from Pierce Mask, I really want to know: does he really intend to do it if we let him go? Is there truth to what he's saying?
yeah, he will disappear. He will disappear, and you'll never see him again. Says, son, you've got to believe me. I didn't know it was you. You can see that look sort of wavering over Cyrus's eyes of fear and confusion. Team, does anyone step in?
That Gem will, and I think that Gem will probably go up to Quiver and say, "Look, Quiver, in this moment, there is no right answer. You know deep down what is right, and you need to trust that, if nothing else. This is your decision." And Gem's going to kind of look over their shoulder, and none of us are going to judge you for whatever you decide. We will support you all the way through. Right, guys?
Yeah. Right. And I look over at Oriflamme.
I think
Right?
that's going to be. I think that's going to be a provoke roll, please, Jam.
Mhm.
All right. That's a 10 again.
Okay. So there are no good solutions to this. Every solution is as bad as the other. Fuck it.
Cyrus, the choice is yours. He says, do the right thing. Stand up for your family.
Yeah, Cyrus stands there, and he takes off his and he picks up his balaclava. He puts it on, and he says, I'm bringing you in that. We're going to the police precinct and then the trial, and that's what this town needs. That's what our district needs. And
Cyrus, if we're going to do this, we need to do this the right way. We can't just hand your father over to the local cops.
so who should we give him to then?
We need to get him into federal custody. We need to talk to someone who would know what federal crimes are out there for him. We need to talk to the cap.
Okay, so I suppose I'll wait here and you go find out.
I don't think me going on my own to talk to the police at the moment is necessarily the best solution.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot. Okay, so He looks at
Especially saying, I've got this member of the crime's family hostage. What should I do with them?
Yes, yes. Cyrus looks at Oriflame. He says, "Yeah, that's true. Maybe not the best at this moment. Maybe I should. Maybe me and Jem should. Maybe me and Nox should go, and you guys stay here. Dynamic just make sure he doesn't pull the blaster maneuver again."
I think there's this moment, there's this dual thing comic of the panel of Oriflame on one side and Dynamic on the other, both standing with their arms crossed, looking almost identical poses and just turning their heads and sighing.
Dynamic's got a big shit-eating grin.
Fine, we'll stand guard.
I really wanted to comment on this one. So I suppose Cyrus leans in closely so that only Oriflame hears, and he says, "Hey, about this handsome Charlie, for a moment you really got me worried that maybe it was you. You kind of dangerous over there with this blaster."
It was only a stun blaster, but I didn't have to tell him that.
Oh, right. Good one. Yeah, totally bought me. Cool. And yeah. And on this note,
one thing, Cyrus, just so that you're aware, if you can't get him into the federal prison, he'll probably be dead by the end of the night. And that's not from me. He knows too much. And the local cops are corrupt.
Yes, but maybe this gives us okay, so here's the plan. We'll get my dad into federal prison, and then we have to clear out the corruption before the protest, so that because the federals can only hold him, but then the protest needs to be local. So
yeah, I say we take down the police. Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Quiver,
Nox?
you definitely did enough to a sacrifice to remove your guilty condition.
Oh, yes, thank you. Cool. So Cyrus looks at Nox and he says, "Shall we go to visit the lady captain?"
Let's show.
Okay. We see you two exit the scene. Look, that's positioned straight into that one, I think. Outside Captain Billinsby's house, which is in the village. It's late, I think. Yeah, it's late. So there's a little light inside, but mostly the house seems to be at rest. What are you doing, Quiver?
Quiver is confused and looks at Nox and he says, "So I don't know. Should we go in as us, or should we go in as and talk to her as the civilians? I mean, I don't know who you are, but maybe I should go as a civilian. I don't know. What do you think? Or should I go as Quiver?"
I mean, I think I'm gonna have to go as Nox. It's not really gonna make sense for me to go in my civilian form, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose I will keep the mask up. Then still as well. Yeah, so I suppose we knock on the door politely.
You can hear movement, and you sort of feel it. The cameras on the door look at you for a second, and then the door opens, and Billingsby's got a vicious-looking pistol drawn, and it's pointed at Knox, who is still wanted for kidnapping. So Billingsby looks at Quiver and says, so you could have brought it to the station rather than to my house. Looks at it and says, Knox, aka whoever you are, you're under arrest.
What the fuck? That's not a great way to greet somebody. I am a guest. I don't know. What do you mean?
She sort of says, yeah, when I read you Miranda rights and put the cuffs on, then I'll give you a cookie.
I didn't do anything. This is ridiculous.
Whoa,
You know,
whoa,
we-
whoa.
Here. Like,
Captain Billingsby, we are here about an arrest, but definitely not about an arrest of Knox. And we came here so that we can talk, not on the precinct specifically. So can we, visit you for this cookie?
So you are the influence machine, Quiver, and I think you need to provoke her, but remember you've got a +1 because of your influence.
Yes, provoke it with superior, so that will be +2. Amazing. And in the background we hear Sparky growl because there is a gun pointed at it at someone. So Sparky is growling in the background behind me. Influence machine. Yes, it's 5 + 2. It's 7. Yes. And I just wanted to remind that I think I fulfilled the condition from last times. I was provoked to bring Zach to justice. I think I'm kind of fulfilling this. So we add 1 to the team pool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much is in the team pool, but
I'll put 1 more in. So she holsters the pistol and says, you've got a lot of explaining. Come on in. Don't make a noise. My children are sleeping.
Thank you, good Captain. Yes, we'll be quiet as... Yeah, we're gonna stay quiet.
can I still get that cookie though?
Sure. Back to the firehouse where White Rabbit is still tied up. What are you doing at this present moment in time, Dynamic?
Editing the video as best as I can to the climactic moment where we pull out the thing, and I'm like looking over at Oriflamme, and I'm like, huh. I mean, do you think Quiver would want to be the guy who put the White Rabbit out of business, or do you think that's maybe a bit weird, or what?
Why the fuck does it matter?
Because
you really want him to actually have to see that all the time, him taking down his own father. How fucking cruel are you?
Oh wait, did you get your gun back? The one that you were shoving in the face of his dad? Yeah?
The person who just tried to kill us.
Yeah, who we'd captured?
Who just tried to kill us.
Yeah, who just tried to kill us and that we'd captured and that, whatever,
Who'd already got away from us once already.
Yeah, well, I mean,
this isn't a fucking game. This is not a fucking game.
No, it's not a game. You're right. So why do you keep on thinking that you're playing?
Oh, I'm the one that's playing. I'm the one that's not editing the footage to go up online. I'm the one that has a Twitch channel and all these followers. I'm the one that makes it a fucking business, am I?
I'm the one who puts what we do out to the people.
And I'm the one that's more interested in actually making a fucking difference.
Yeah, and you've made such a big one so far, haven't you, Oriflamme? Such a real symbol for the people of this area, right? Wanted by the cops for blowing up a plane. Only even to talk to them because you're so shadowy and mysterious. And I want to look over at White Rabbit and I'm like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Kilgore looks up at both of you and says, Are you looking for fatherly advice?
I've got a dad. It's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he knows that.
He gives you your father's name, height, medicine, social security number, and where they go on their Saturday morning stroll.
My dad could take you.
And he looks at you, Oriflamme, and says, "That's for your dad." Well,
What?
you know that shit-eating grin that that Dynamic was talking about. He does it, but villainously.
Fuck. What the fuck are you on about? And I'm going over and I'm getting in the face. What the fuck are you on about?
He just smiles and will turn the page on that scene as you're both face to face with him. They're in Billingsby's kitchen. She puts some cookies on the table and whatever it is you wanted to drink, and pours herself a large bourbon and takes a mouthful and says, "I've got a feeling this is going to be one of those conversations. Usually is when superheroes get into the mix. Why don't you tell me what's going on, Gridlock Guardians? Where's the rest of your merry family?"
Yes, I was just thinking that before we start, we should like clear this the situation from the beginning. So what was it about arrest of Knox? Let's clear this one first.
Knox is accused of the kidnapping of one Jem Bardges, who has been returned safely to her family. But there is some follow-up questioning we would like to do with you, Knox, on why you abducted this young woman.
I didn't abduct this gem you speak of. I have never seen them in my life.
And he says, and yet you were there in the Bardges house. Mrs. Bardges spotted you. That family has my support and special attention, Knox. After all the work they did with the Great Ghost, I'm not going to let any harm come to them. So you need to explain a little bit more before I believe a word that either of you say.
You know, the thing about nighttime is that there are lots of shadows, and you know, not all of them are me necessarily. It's a little rude to assume that any shadow that you see happens to be me. I think Mrs. Bardges is just a bit confused.
She looks you up and down. We seem to be hitting it a lot, but it's going to likely to be another provoke to see if she believes you at this point.
All right. That was an 8.
She says, "Fine. I'm going to take you at your word, but this isn't over, and I'm watching you. But the good news is, I believe going to a captain of internal affairs who also deals with superhero crimes for a cookie is probably foolhardy action, so I'm going to let you clear your condition." And she drinks the whiskey and then looks at Quiver and says, "Do you want to explain why this couldn't wait till the morning and why you've come to my home?"
Yes, thank you, Captain, for. Yes, we Greenlock Guardians have captured a dangerous supervillain known as the, I don't know, the guy with the white rabbit mask.
She sort of looks, knocks back the rest of the whiskey and pours another one. The White Rabbit. The
Yes.
assassin, the White Rabbit.
Yes.
Enforcer of the 5 families.
Yes.
And you
I
have
think he goes by
them?
Little Bunny Foo Foo now.
Cute. You have them?
Yes, but there are some complications to this case.
There usually are, where the families are involved.
His real name is Zach Kilgore.
She stops, takes one of the cookies, takes a bite, takes a moment to think, knocks back the whiskey and pours another one. Says, the Zach Kilgore, property developer.
Yes. Yeah, and I suppose Quiver undoes his balaclava, and I am Cyrus Kilgore. So you might see why there is a bit of a problem over here.
Holy shit. And the page turns back to the firehouse, where I say Kilgore is smiling into Oriflamme's face.
What did you mean by my father? My father's dead.
Yeah, I know.
Don't give me that shit, and I'm basically gonna punch him.
Okay. The punch thunks his face, and you sort of see a trickle of blood on his cheek, and it comes out of his mouth, and he spits it out, and then looks up. Says, "Big man, hitting people tied to a chair. Your friend Dynamic is right about you. Hey, you let me go, I can give you a job. We always need monsters like you." And he's telling you who you are.
I'm.
I expected you to reject it, but you're still gonna.
Oh no, I'm gonna punch him again. Actually, I'm gonna give into it and punch him again.
You're gonna give in to the influence, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's awesome. So I'm going to put your danger up. I'm going to put your savior down. Dynamic, that's 2 punches to a tied up prisoner. How you going?
Dude. What does this even do, you know? Will this make you feel better? Because it's not having any effect on him. You want to punch Cyrus's dad?
No, and I'm literally gonna knock him to the floor. Sorry, I'm gonna knock Zach to the floor, and I'm gonna start beating him until he actually tells me and screaming, "What do you know about my father?" And I think this is a provoke more than anything else.
Yeah, yes, we seem to be on the provoke list today, but let's hit it.
If I could get the dice to roll. Oh, snake eyes.
So why don't you mark
not...
potential and mark a condition as your emotions overtake you?
I think I'm angry.
Yeah,
I definitely think I'm angry.
He's probably going to beat him to death at this point, Dynamic. So what do you do?
I, like, you know, at the dramatically like appropriate moment, Dynamic will like swear and just like push Oriflamme off White Rabbit. Like, what the hell?
So you're going to need to make a defend, but you've got a -2 on that. So
okay, defend.
So defend is with savior.
Okay. Well, I got snake eyes as well, so I do not manage to defend. Do
mark potential as you sort of go to push them. It fails. So what do you so on a fail? It's definitely going to escalate the situation, right? That's my choice. But what is your reaction to when Dynamic pushes you, Oriflamme?
I think as Dynamic comes in to push me, I
Punch him in the face.
no. I think this is going to be oh God, I'm trying to think of the actual best dramatic thing to actually
Well,
do here.
let me. I think we see that push, and we see Oriflamme's eyes, and that's in the panel as the page tips back over to Quiver and Nox. And then we've got Quiver and Nox, and there's sort of that moment of he's very dangerous. We're going to need to take him in, and I want to call in the big guns on this. I'm going to put a call into the Titans. I want to make sure that he doesn't disappear.
Yes, that's why we came here, to make sure that we can get my dad to some federal prison, not some local ones, because we are afraid that the 5 families might get to him while he's in a prison. But the protest will still be local, with the local judge, or how will it go then?
He's I can guarantee he's worked internationally. Federal's going to get involved, but we'll keep him safe. There might even be an opportunity for him to turn witness and avoid the death penalty.
Okay. What I'm getting as a player in, I would somehow like this to be local matter, so that we can get into Oriflamme's mom problem. Should I convince her to do it, or as it be?
No, that's fine. It's not. You don't need to roll for that.
Okay.
He sort of says if that's what it takes, we'll do it. But I want him brought in safely, and this is too big for you kids. So she's telling you who you are.
Yeah, I accept it. Yeah.
Okay, this is too big for you. So she is going to put your danger down, but she's going to put your savior up. And says, "It's okay. We're going to sort this out." So let's flip. In fact, Nox, is there anything you want to say or do at this moment?
I mean, I don't know that Nox believes that this is bigger than we are, but you know what? We'll let it slide.
Okay. Page flips back, and what does Oriflamme do next?
You know that stun blaster that we had that I mentioned earlier?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just a flash of light as she pulls it and fires it at Dynamic.
Okay. So that presumably means you are directly engaging a threat, which is
Yes.
Well, actually, let's do it as an unleash your powers, right?
There's a pity I've got Danger 2 and Freak 0. But
I would be happy to just do that as take a powerful blow. And just put
yeah,
that on the
if you're
table.
happy to do it, so take a powerful blow against a PC. If you're happy to accept that, I'm very happy if that's the case. There are specific options for this when it's a PC. So do you want to roll your take a powerful blow? Oh, sorry. There we go.
I'll roll it while.
Okay, one's away. Yep.
Oof, that's a bad one. That is a 10 plus.
Do you remove yourself to the situation, lose control of yourself, your powers in a terrible way, or 2 options from the 7 to 9 list?
William, just so you know what I'm planning to actually take Zach and actually run off with him.
That's fine. I lash out verbally, provoking a teammate to foolhardy action.
You're choosing 2 from the 7 to 9 or 10 plus. Yeah. Okay.
I'll choose 2 from the thing. I will. I tell you what. I'll give ground. My opposition gets an opportunity, allowing Oriflamme to run away with Zach, but I will also take advantage of my influence to inflict a condition on Oriflamme.
What condition are you inflicting on them?
I am inflicting. You already have angry.
Well, me shooting you, I think, is going to clear angry. But
Yes, probably. You know
Not
what?
till
I'm
the end
gonna.
of the scene.
Yeah. I'm gonna do.
guilty makes perfect
Guilty.
sense.
Yes. Guilty. Because I think that blast sends me like, flying back across the room, and then there's a moment of like, oh shit, this has escalated too fast.
So as that happens, you hear sort of Kilgrove laughing, and he sort of looks up at you, Oriflamme, and says, "Tell Cyrus I'm really proud of him. He's strong, and that's what I needed him to be. He'll want for nothing. I've made sure of that. But I'm
Blood
not being
money.
taken." Sorry,
Blood money.
he said.
And I think the actual panel is behind Cyrus with him looking up at Oriflamme, with Oriflamme holding the pistol. And I think
Yeah.
the next panel is just white.
Okay. Oh, well, I haven't closed my hard move, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So he looks and says, instead of says, tell him, tell him proud of him, and tell him that ultimately this is probably for the best. And then you sort of see foam coming up through his mouth, and his eyes go blank. So I'm going to take a pause with that moment to double check in everyone is okay with that.
I'm fine.
Specifically, I'm checking in with Pavel there,
Oh.
and okay, but everyone there, as long as everyone's all right, I don't think White Rabbit is someone who's going to be taken into custody.
Yeah, I think I would much rather he teleport away and vanish or something like this. Because if he stays, then I'm not really into going when we find him. So I'd rather him just vanish for good.
Okay, so rather than it just foam, I think then what happens is it starts as energy sort of crackles around him, and you see that moment where it's, I think, for you, and probably only to you, Oriflamme, you're quite sure that that moment in time, he hasn't teleported somewhere. He hasn't pulled a trick out of a hat. There is just a moment, and there's nothing left, and the ropes are charred and smoldered, as if again they've just sort of literally burnt themselves out.
Can I suggest that next to this burn spot there is a blood splattered white rabbit mask, like just on the floor in the panel?
I hope your cameras weren't capturing that, because I was pointing an alien gun at him at that point.
Cameras are established as off, so we're okay in that.
I'm happy for cameras to be on.
No,
whenever.
I was happy for it to be recorded, that, because that
Yeah.
just makes things even more messy.
Okay, so that's a deliberately ambiguous but likely final ending for White Rabbit. And we sort of hear, and then we flip the page, and Billingsby sort of puts a hand on yours, Quiver, and say, "We're going to do everything we can to protect him, but he's going to go away probably for the rest of his life." Are you okay with that? It's the choice you're making.
Yes, I think he always wanted me to. Yes, I think yes, that's what's good for the neighborhood, and yes, we are holed up in this building, and I give her the address. So
Cool. For me, I feel that would, if you would like to cover the drive, take down a threat all on your own, because you've outed your secret identity, you've put your JAD up. No one else was willing to do that. I think that is all Quiver becoming the hero that they need to be. So I'm happy that you could cross that drive off if you would like to.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think you have taken down a threat on your own. You've exposed who he is. You've stood up as a hero and confronted the legacy of your father, right? So I think that feels positive. But let's come back where you see the cars, police cars, will be heading and zipping towards the firehouse in Tri-Town, and as I say, you're pulling yourself up, dynamic, and you can just sort of see the smouldering ropes and sort of an ash outline where, or blackened outline on the floor where White Rabbit Kilgrove would have been.
Can we hear police sirens coming towards us, perhaps, in this
Yes.
moment? Yeah, I look at Oriflamme and I just say, you should go. You should go now. Before they get here, before Cyrus gets here, and he sees what you did to his dad. Good work, hero.
I didn't do this.
Whatever, man.
And at that point, I think I grapple hook up and away.
And
Okay.
Dynamic will greet the police with a sort of, you know, he had some sort of device, blah, 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 like exploded him, you know what I mean? Just kind of like try and spin this in a sort of neutral way, but deep down believes that Oriflamme did it.
I love the idea that we actually think that I've done it, and that we're just using the suicide pill as a cover. That's just brilliant.
So yeah, it maybe it was a teleportation device that went wrong. Maybe he atomized himself. At this point, we don't know. Deliberately ambiguous, but we did rewind and rewrite that to take out the suicide pill using safety tools. So say at that point, I say you when that is being explained, if we saw the emotional reaction of Quiver in that scene, what was it? As it was being explained that it all went wrong, and how does Quiver react?
Yeah, I think Quiver at the moment he takes it said like a man, but then we probably like going to his like late at night in his room. He's just like in the corner, you know, arms and legs and like bag of tissues and crying up. So
Okay, let's take that moment to turn the page. So, as I said, let's pick up with Quiver first, and in the few days that follow, where the police are sort of starting to pull things apart here. I think you sort of said that you may want to Quiver, sort of you're not letting your father's name get into the press. What's the deal?
just give me a second because I need to complete my advance to rearrange the labels.
Sure. Well, while you're doing that, let me move across then to Nox, because Jem, you got hit by the fact that they say Detective Captain Billinsby said that your parents were somehow connected to the Grey Ghost. Does Jem? What are the next couple of weeks of Jem going back to normal life look like?
Well, I mean, I think that it's not really normal. There's this weird tension between her and her parents, and then like I feel like her and Kitty probably exchange a lot of like glances between each other, just kind of like eye rolls and whatnot. But I think that Jem is probably doing a lot of snooping around the house, looking in cupboards, that kind of thing.
See what you can find. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll come back to that shortly. Quiver, are you? I want to sort of establish before I can go much further. Is you do you out, because the police haven't really got a great deal of evidence. All they can't find is the mask, the setup. What do you do? Do you let them out your father, or do you keep it quiet?
Yeah, I suppose we see Quiver looking in the background to the Captain Billingsby and asking her. So now that there's nothing to prosecute, can we keep White Rabbit's true identity, between ourselves? And yeah, I wouldn't like this to go public if there. I don't think there's anything to be gained right now from this. So can we keep this between ourselves? Those who need to know.
They'll try and bring you in, or they'll try and let you know what is going on here. There will be moments where you probably understand more about the five families than we have ever possibly thought we could know. Are you willing to work as our person on the inside to bring them down for once and for all?
Wait, do you think that the five families will want to contract me as their enforcer?
That I think your father was a smart man, and I think he would have built in trapdoors. White Rabbit was not going to be taken down in the same way that Handsome Charlie was. If we can identify who the leaders of the five families are, if we can start circling them, we could make a real change in this neighborhood, Quiver. We could stop it all.
I don't get what you are getting at, Captain. Do you want me to put on this mask and pretend that White Rabbit is still okay? I'm not sure I'm getting what you're getting at.
I think your father's friends will know who White Rabbit was. At least some of them. I want to know who the leaders of the other leaders of the five families are. We know one is Handsome Charlie. He's gone. We know one is your father. There are still the others. And if we can stop the gangs and the organized crime and do the biggest shakedown Triton has ever seen, we get a chance to take back the streets and protect this place. I still don't understand what's going on here. Why was your father trying to rebuild the neighborhood and then running some of the gangs?
Well, Captain, I'm really willing to help any way I can. If they will contact me and want me to contract for them, I don't think it will happen. They probably know I'm on this side of the barricade, but yeah, I guess I'm totally up to finding out the other three bosses as well.
Okay. Then we'll keep your father's name out of the press for
now. Thank you, Captain. And as for what Quiver was doing for some time after this, yeah, I think we see Quiver arrive, kicking the door to some drug lab. Some people are running away. Some people are captured. I think we can really see that Quiver is like going door to door, den to den to find this. What was his name?
Cheery Johnson, the guy by the
Cheery
hits on
Johnson.
Quiver, right? Okay,
Yes.
awesome. Well, let's come back to that in a little while. Let's find out what Dynamic has been doing in the weeks since.
I think Dynamic simply forgets about all that footage from the night of the White Rabbit thing and leaves it behind, like I say, to be plot ambiguous for whether or not it clears or condemns Oriflamme. And yeah, I think that Dynamic, I think the first question is, do I get this fire station? Like, does my deal with Kilgore like extend to his estate, like his son now taking over the business, or his mother, or whatever?
Well, I think that sort of answers. Let's answer that because literally about 24 hours after Kilgore disappears, a gentleman by the name of Arthur Shelby arrives to talk to you, Cyrus, and he lets you know that you're in the event of your father not making contact with me in a 48-hour period, a set of business transaction we put in place that would ensure that the assets would be drawn down from all sorts of investments and transferred into your name, Mr. Kilgore. He puts out a set of business documents and contract and says, at this point, Mr. Kilgore, we are transferring into.
I thought that this was with Dynamic. Is it with me?
It's with Kilgore. No, this is your lawyer seeing Kilgore, right?
Okay.
This is Arthur Shelby is
Some
is
flashback.
your father's lawyer.
Okay.
And it says, we have transferred the assets we have drawn down and sold and began to sell off assets from your family, including as per the contracts and agreements with your father, the Kilgore investment funds and plans around that. And we are proud and happy to say, sir, that we are transferring into your ownership the sum of $332 million US, plus investment funds that are close to another $400 million. You, sir, are a very wealthy man. Your father has made sure that you will be looked after, as will be your stepmother.
Are the funds signed for me, or are the funds signed for my stepmom, Ellen?
Remind me how old your character is?
I think we set him up as just after secondary school, before going to the university. So I suppose 18.
So age of majority is fine. So let's say you're 18, and it says, well, there will be funds put aside for your stepmother, but and the investment funds will make sure that both of you are looked after for the rest of your life. But so the 330 million is liquid assets, and now is in your accounts.
Oh,
do with as you will.
Thank you. Thank you. Please do leave a business card in case I need a financial advisor for all of those money.
Shelby and Shelby will, of course, hope to remain as your family's advisors and legal and financial guardians in these times, sir.
Yeah, Cyrus is like, at this point, is like still really confused about all of this. So
there is an outstanding agreement which was awaiting final approval. I believe your father had done this initiative based on your request, Mr. Kilgore, to buy the fire station in Tri-Town and the old fire station, and put it into the ownership of the Tri-Town Guardians. Would you like this? Would you like this transaction and this arrangement to go through?
Of course. I love Tri-Town Guardians. Yes, I believe they are called Grindlock Guardians, to be honest. But yeah. Yes, of course.
We have an extremely effective marketing firm, so you could call them whatever you like at this point, and the public will remember to call them by the appropriate name.
Well,
Yes,
like,
please. Yes, please proceed with the transaction.
nice.
Wonderful.
So, Dynamic has definitely been MTV Crib style of the new place, and I think, you know, in the broader terms, I think Dynamic, if Quiver's willing to have, I mean, how does Quiver want to play it with like the drug den bus and things like that? Do you want it? Would you be up for like, you know, like not video of it all maybe, but like, you know, just pictures of like tied up crooks and things like that, like another one down, like, you know, Dream
Yeah.
Team, Quiver and Dynamic, like cleaning house.
Yeah,
kind
of course. Yeah, let's go. Let's make it public. Yeah, I think we are filming all of our drug den bust operations. Yeah.
Cool. And other than that, I think Dynamic just I mean, I guess I told Quiver Oriflamme knocked me out, and then, you know, maybe she killed your dad. Who knows, right? I don't think I'm going to go after Oriflamme. I think I'm going to go after Jeff. I'm going to say, like, you know, like have an awkward sort of like, come on, man, like, let's build these bridges again. You know, don't burn everything down, man. You're my cousin.
So where would you meet Jeff then? Where is the right place?
I think I meet Jeff. I think Jeff is like does a bit of like street hustle, you know, like sells like bootleg goods and things like that, and everything. And I will come and meet him down on his. I'll come rock up on his corner in the park or wherever, and you know, he's selling like tapes of Dynamic and things like that from back in the day or whatever. And I'm like, hey man, I'll take 2 of those hoodies and 1 of those baseball caps.
He sort of looks you up and down and says, "Nah, man, this stuff is for like Dynamic. When Dynamic was here to stand up and you know, be the voice for this community, not get rich and get fancy clothes and duds. I don't think it's for you. He's telling you who you are."
Screw you, Jeff.
You can reject the influence and set him straight.
Yeah. That is 5. So with my mundane, that is a 6.
So no matter how you're feeling about this, unfortunately, Jeff's words hit you hard, Dynamic. I'm going to let everyone clear their existing conditions because we're clear where you are, clear any conditions you currently have, folks, because time has passed.
David, can I keep mine, please? Because I think it's
can.
narratively appropriate. And
If you feel you wish to keep them, the choice is yours. I am never going to stop you from harshing your own characters. But Dynamic gets a condition because Jeff's given him a verbal smackdown.
I will, you know, I'll take guilty because I think I do feel bad about, you know, and I don't think that maybe like the words about me being, you know, like not standing up for the thing hit me so much as like I didn't have my cousin's back, you know, like I've pissed him off.
He said, like, this isn't why we started this, Caleb.
I know, man, like that's why I said that we couldn't put that footage out, you know? Like you were all about the drama, you wanted it to be the team thing, you know, like look, we got a chance here, you know, like that Kilgore kid, he's got our back, right?
Yeah, but I like totally, utterly, and completely fucked up.
Look, man, what's it going to take for us to work together again, you know?
Shiny Dud's new place. Why were we doing this, Caleb?
We were doing this because we wanted to, you know, like, help people. But what, we're going to help people and work at, like, Walmart? Not going to happen, is it, you know? And people in this place, they need to see that something can be done, right? The Titans, they sit up in their tower, and everyone knows who they are, but they don't know nothing about Tri-Town. They don't know nothing about the village, and we're here for that. There's no reason that we can't do this and look good doing it. That's what you said to me. Hell, man, the YouTube channel was your idea.
So I was thinking that maybe we should start making other people look good doing it as well. I think
Yeah.
I got caught up in the brand. I got caught up in let's make you big. Let's make you big like the Titans.
Hey, man, I know.
Got where we're from, man.
I know you always look, Jeff. I know you had my back, man. Like, I don't want to, you know, like handshake, fist bump, kind of like awkward brotherly sort of like apologies and whatever, right? Like, but like, you know, these guys, they're the ticket to cleaning this place up. You know, making it better. And I agree. What do you think? Who did I choose as like could be a bigger star than me someday? Quiver might end up being a bigger star than me. Like that Quiver kid. You see what he's been doing? You see the stuff? Like, I know how much better you could make it all look if you did the work, man. You're so much better at that Photoshop effects, everything than I am.
Sort of puts his hand out to you to shake.
All right, man. I saved you a place in the fire station if you want it.
Does that shake, sort of pulls you in into a hug, and it's like wherever the secret high five dynamic Jeff high five slap is, he says, so do you think Oriflamme really blew up that plane? And we'll flip the page at that point to where Oriflamme has been in the last few weeks.
I think we flip the frame and we see handsome Charlie covered in bandages.
Okay.
Having walking out of a meeting place and going directly into a car. Car pulls around the corner, and as it pulls away, the face changes as the illusion drops, and Oriflamme's in the car. I think Oriflamme's been posing as handsome Charlie, having actually survived the plane crash to try and draw folk out.
Okay. Cool. So have you been sort of trying to get his gang back together, or
I've been trying to get the gang back together and basically stir up trouble between the families. I'm trying to start a gang war.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. So, I think sitting in the car next to you at this point, I'm trying to find his name. Don't worry about it. Look, I'm going to say that sitting in the car next to you is Enforcer, who's going like, man, I can't believe they tried to take you out. They tried to get me to buy a seat at the table. What's up with that? I think this feels like the professor all over. We should like find that goddamn dandy prick and put a bullet through his eyes.
Do you know where he is?
He said he's been lording it up in the village since you disappeared. Told me that if we didn't come on board, then he'd take the territory from us.
Can't stand for that. Can't stand for that at all. And I'm going to look up and actually look into the mirror, and covered in bandages, so handsome Charlie isn't quite so handsome anymore. What have they done? What have they done to me? They've made me into a freak, into a monster. No one does that to me. No one does that to us. This is our town, and they will learn that this is our town.
You want me to take out the professor's? You want me to take out the professor's restaurant uptown?
No, that'd be too messy. We can't show our hand yet. This is like poker. We've got to hide our cards.
Okay, man.
Just keep your eyes on things at the moment. Let's get the information together, and when we're ready, we strike and take it all at once.
Says, whatever you want, boss. And the car draws away. And then over the docks, we see Bluebird looking down at a ship coming in. And she takes out a comms device and messages Oriflamme and says, I need your help. Whilst elsewhere, we see a cut to the judge's chambers in the courtroom, and we see find her name. Remind me of your mother's name.
I can't remember myself. It's been so long.
Mom. There we go. We see Justice Evelyn Torres, and she's looking at a picture of herself and you and your father. You're probably about 6 or 7 years old. And she sort of puts her hand on the picture over your father's face and says, where are you? We need you. Let's come back to Knox's and Kitty's detective investigations in the house. Kitty has been taking this quite seriously and is still very much onto the idea that she does need to have a code name and a costume, but has been, when your parents are out, helping you sculpt through or ensuring that there is, ensuring that your parents actually keep a lookout when you're checking something out in the house. But I think what we have found is in your father's study, you have taken some books away, and you found a loose panel at the wall, which she is tapping with her hand and looking totally pleased with herself. She goes, Jem, I think I found something.
Let's have a look. I think that Jem's probably gonna start messing around with the panel.
Okay, it clicks and pulls away, and inside there is a metal box, which is it has a thumbprint lock on it, so it's sealed, but it looks like someone has concealed and taken the time to conceal something quite serious here.
I think that Jem's probably gonna take it out and look around it and say, "What do you think, Kitty?"
She sort of shrugs and says, maybe we should ask Dad before we open this.
What if we ask him? We're going to have to tell him that we were actually here and that we were snooping, and then he'd ask us why we were snooping, and it's just gonna get things more complicated. Go grab me Dad's mug that he uses for coffee all the time. Quick.
She nods and says, you make a fair point, and she rushes over and grabs the mug and pulls it back to you. Says, are you gonna lift the fingerprints?
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Who taught you that? I bet it was Oriflame.
You know, Kitty, I am capable of learning things on my own. You have a pretty cool older sister.
Cool. The most suitable for this to pull a fingerprint is going to be, is likely to be unleash your powers, unless unless there is something in your move list that's more appropriate. You could use mild mannered here because you are in your civilian identity.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I'll let you use mild mannered.
Okay, cool. That's a 14.
I think that does it. As you lift the fingerprint onto like a little bit of tape and then press it against the thumb lock, which whirs with light and clicks open. And inside you can see the hat of the Grey Ghost, a mask of the Grey Ghost, and what looks to be a radio, as well as a set of the gas pistols that they used to wield.
I think that Jem is gonna take out their phone and snap some pictures and send it to the group chat of Gridlock Guardian.
It's like, whoa, says Kitty, and her hand immediately snakes into the box to try and grab the gas pistols.
Stop it. Not for you. Look with your eyes, not with your hands.
Is Dad the Grey Ghost?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. He's not cool enough to be the Grey Ghost.
Well, you're not cool enough to be Nox, but that doesn't stop you.
I think with that, Jem is gonna like kind of do the like sibling punch. I'm kidding. Hey, I just looked at a freaking fingerprint. That's pretty cool.
I was just thinking you're really good at sort of keeping your secret identity, right? You know, Nox is so super cool, and you're like totally a dork.
Says you.
So, he was like, "This is like, are you going to tell the team? Are you going to get the team back together? Is Oriflamme going to come back to the team?" So, is there something going on between you and Oriflamme? She looks at you and stares detective-wise eyes at you.
I don't know what you're talking about. She kind of like looks down at the box and it's like, help me put this away.
It's like, because if there's something like going on between you and Oriflamme, that means you could set me up on a date with Dynamic, right?
Over my dead body.
Said, yeah, our family could like totally be superheroes in disguise, every one of us, because like you're just as square as Dad.
I am not a square. I am a dodecahedron. I don't need this sass from you.
Said, need no love, yes. The case is put back, the books are returned, and we'll turn the page on this scene. Let's go back to Quiver, who's kicking the door open. Are you alone, Quiver, or did you take any members of the team with you when you identified where Cheery Johnson was?
Just to finish up our chat conversation, Quiver sends another message to Oriflamme saying, just name the time and place and I'll be there. I suppose in our search for Cherry Johnson, I'll be totally up to invite Dynamic to go with me or Nox, so whoever wants to be there.
Yeah, I imagine this as like, dynamic is like the backup kind of thing. Quiver kicks down the door and starts the corridor fights, and then
Yeah.
dynamic like can fly and do superpowered stuff. So
Yeah. And do we have the Jeff on the with the cameras rolling?
yeah,
Hey.
Jeff with the drone.
Jeff's got fancy drone cameras now because he's got Kilgore money.
Mhm.
No more GoPros on remote control cars. It's awesome with good lighting. Okay, so this door it kicks open. And it kicks open into it's a gambling den. It's a legal gambling den. There are craps tables. There's poker here. The air is thick with smoke, and that's the moment the cheery Johnson looks up at the door kicking over and seeing you all three arrive. There are lots of guns being drawn in this room. Some pointing at you, some pointing at other people. It's like, is this a setup? What's going on? You have confusion in the room, and you are definitely entering battle against a dangerous foe as a team. So, who did you say? Sorry, Quiver was with you. You were working that out.
Definitely Dynamics is not with us.
Yep, just you and Dynamic at the moment. Yeah.
Does Knox want to be with us?
Whichever, I'm happy to be there.
Yeah.
You guys
'Cause-
can speak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that we're kind of operating as a team, and Oriflamme is off
Yeah.
doing the Nightwing shtick, like
Sulking. The word you're looking for is sulking.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so it's like bang, the door goes up, and then you can see as like it's the Gridlock Guardians, and it's done like in your logo font as they point at you and see you come through the door. So we are entering battle against a dangerous foe's team. So we're going to add 2 to the pool for team. Who is the leader in this fight?
Oh, that's a good one.
Feels like it's Quiver because they're the one who's been hunting them down.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have influence over everyone else?
I have influence over Nox and Dynamics, yes.
That's another one. What's your purpose in the team in this fight? Sorry.
To capture Chair Johnson.
And does anyone have a significantly different ambition to this? Okay. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, anyone mistrust anyone? No. Is your team
It's the only one I
ill-prepared?
trust at the moment.
Is your team ill-prepared? No. So you add 4 to the team. Almost functioning effectively as a unit at this point. So your team is now sitting at a mighty 8.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the point, Quiver. What do you do when you go through the door?
So we kick in the door and they all go for the guns.
Yeah, people are drawing guns, all trying to flee.
I suppose Quiver draws an arrow and we see like a giant flashbang stuck to the arrowhead, and he shouts, "Fire in the hole!" and he shoots across the room to the other side where all the guys are arming with guns.
Okay, so fictionally, what are you trying to achieve here? Is it to disarm them or take them out? What's the or put smoke up to sort of?
It's a flashbang, so I suppose I wanna blind and deafen them.
Okay, so look, that is for me you're going to be unleashing your powers.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not good at this, but let's see how it goes. Tick tick. Yeah, we got a 7.
Bang. So are you going to mark condition, or I'm going to tell you how it's unstable or temporary?
Please tell me how it is unstable or temporary.
Right, as the smoke goes up with the flashbang, you note that because of all the cigarette smoke in here, that the air conditioning, the fans are quite effective. So you've only probably got a few seconds before the smoke clears.
Mm-hmm.
But that is enough of a time for Nox to react.
Yeah, I think that Nox is probably going to kind of channel the shadowy powers, and kind of like just surround that group with some serious shade.
Cool. So again, are you trying to sort of distract them or cause confusion at this point? Is that the aim?
Yeah, I'm just trying to not give them any kind of like line of sight or anything.
Cool. So it sounds like you're trying to create an opportunity for your allies. So the most appropriate here would be directly engage a threat. Are you flipping your label, or are you remaining on your mundane of 3?
I think I'm remaining.
Cool.
And that's rolling with.
Are you rolling with danger for directly engage a threat?
Okay. So that's an 8.
So you get to choose one from the list. Resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Do you want me to bump that up?
Oh, what's on the table? 9? I'm sorry.
It's an 8, but Oriflamme has got a move that allows them to spend a point of team and put 2 on it. So I certainly think we can, right? If you want to do that, I have no problem with you clearing a point of team where, unbeknownst to everyone else, Oriflamme is here in disguise, create an opportunity for the team.
I think there's someone actually sighting down on Nox that Nox doesn't see, and Oriflamme reaches in, pulls out a proper pistol, and while this is all this craziness is going on, with the silent pistol, just and drops the bloke.
So you get to choose 2 and not 1 then, Nox.
Okay. I think I want to create an opportunity for my allies.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to take something from them.
What are you going to take from them?
I think that I'm going to take away their vision. I think that these shadows are particularly heavy. I think that they can't see anything.
Yeah. Between that and the smoke, they are obfuscated, allowing Dynamic to strike.
Cool. I will directly engage the threat, but it's going to be flamboyantly. So it's going to be with all my cameras and everything. Everything's rolling. Jeff's drones. I think we've even got like small cameras attached sometimes to Quiver's arrows, so that you can do like a slow-mo shot of the arrow, like later on edited into the thing. And yeah, I will mark a condition to roll plus superior instead of danger, and I will mark angry, I guess. And boop, boop, boop. That is, oh my god, not worth marking a condition for, because I got a 5 in total.
5 in total. Wow. You mark a condition. So mark a condition. Mark potential even. Not another condition. But as you say, what were you trying to do? And I'll sort of think about how this goes wrong. Describe what you were trying to do.
I think I was like lightning lad style electricity bolts, like flash through the room kind of thing, like a chain lightning effect.
Cool. So that sort of arcs through the room. One of the what it does as it hits and goes up is it sort of sets off the sprinkler systems, so the water starts dashing down through the room, pushing the smoke away, and I think even through the darkness, some of them are now realizing what's happening. In that moment of the alarm going off, it's giving Cheery Johnson a chance to get, well, he is making his way, you see him disappear through a back door in the room. Oriflamme, in your cunning disguise, what do you look like? Is it your handsome Charlie disguise, or is it something else? You're muted there. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry, I didn't do that. It's handsome Charlie, but with face bandages and the like, in the classic comic book style. Because I need people to see that he's back and actually set up the conflict.
Okay, so handsome Charlie, what are you going to do?
While this is going on, I'm telling my guys to get out and covering them as the dapper guys get out.
Cool. That's fine.
And then I think I'm going to go after the guy who's got away.
Right. So, look, if you make a successful defend roll, your goons or handsome Charlie's goons will escape the scene with no further interference from anyone else.
Jesus Christ! I haven't rolled for higher than a 5 all day.
Well, look, that when you were asking about potential earlier in the week, this the good news is think of all the potential you're getting as you're giving me my hard moves. Okay, so what one piece of behavior do you think is going to cause suspicion in the guys' names? So when they've seen you doing this in the goons, sorry.
I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that Quiver somehow grabbed handsome Charlie and is punching him right now?
I think that is absolutely wonderful. As you give that moment of get away, we get this moment where you see handsome Charlie, knowing that if you brought handsome Charlie in, you could clear Oriflamme's name, and you grab them, striking them with your full fist. And I think you need to take a powerful blow, Oriflamme.
Oh no! Oh, woe is me!
Watch
it! Like, I've not rolled higher than 5 all day. Now it's going to be a 12.
Yeah, and it's like, grab. Where do you think you are going? You are supposed to be dead. Punch.
Seriously, it's a 5 again.
Well, the good news is your face is tougher than Quiver's punches, but still. That would cover punching out a teammate, as he does punch you hard enough that the disguise and the illusion drops for a moment, and you realize that you are punching out Oriflamme. I think the rest of the team spot this, but everyone else is too busy running around. How do you react, Quiver, to realizing that you've just punched Oriflamme?
I like still hold the for the shirt and it's like we are supposed to meet after this.
After this, yes. Get your hands off me.
But you still deserve it. And I'll go.
And as you head to punch them again, Sparky bites handsome Charlie's leg, growling as handsome Charlie gets what he deserves. But Cheery Johnson has made a break for it through the back door as there is still fire going off from people shooting around the room, shooting primarily at you. I'm going to say that they think that you are the biggest threat, Dynamic. So everyone is trying to shoot at you at this present moment in time. What do you want to do about that?
I would like to unleash my powers and do some Magneto nonsense.
Cool.
Which I won't fully describe because everyone's imaginations can be better than that.
Considering you've got gangsters aplenty in here, are you sure you want to unleash your powers, or would you like to do time for the show?
And impress one of them with it, I suppose.
Yeah, I just think you might get someone who's willing to give you answers afterwards.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I will do that. Let's suppose I hadn't thought about it in that terms. That's better. I roll a 11 with that. Flamboyant display of powers. Yeah, I think, so they fire their guns, right? Like, and the bullets just stop, like, right in front of the barrels, kind of thing. Like, all just sort of like 1 inch outside, and then drop to the floor. And I smile and like, want to go again, guys?
So let's establish who those NPCs are in a minute. We'll go back to the dramatic tension of, I say, Cherry Johnson has just gone out through a back door, and you can see a security door is dropping, Knox, which will block your way. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think that Nox is going to dissolve into the shadows right now and kind of use that to like increase their speed to where Cherry Johnson is. At this point, I think I'm going to use my my mask move where I can switch my. Or wait, is that the one? Yes, where I can switch my Monday freak. And then I think I'm going to try to set a dangerous web. And try to like block off Cherry Johnson.
That sounds totally legit and awesome. Let's roll that.
That's a 10.
Da-da-da. So on a hit, your opponent trips into it and you gain an opening opportunity against them on a 10 plus, take +1 forward in pursuing it. So I think it is just that we sort of see Cherry Johnson for a moment think they've got away. How in the panel do we see that they haven't? What does that look like?
I think that they like maybe like turn to look behind them and are kind of like smiling victoriously, and then like the next panel as they like turn forward is like darkness, and I think that there's like maybe like a little talking bubble with Knox's voice saying, "Gotcha."
Awesome. As long as you succeed and lay a blow on with directly engage a threat, they are not that tough, and that would be enough to subdue them. But remember, you've got +1 forward on this one.
And I'm rolling with danger on that,
That's correct.
All right. So that's an 8.
Okay, so you inflict a condition on them, and then you choose one from resist or avoid their blows, take something from them. I think they're already frightened, so you don't need to do that. Do you want to resist or avoid their blows?
Yeah, I think
perhaps. Yeah, he sort of, you can see him striking out into the shadows and the muzzle flash as the shadow sort of wraps around him bit by bit as your fists come from Noah in the darkness, hitting them again and again until he sort of stops and drops to his knees and drops the gun and goes, is this because I put a hit out on your friend?
I mean, it's for a lot of things.
Seems legit. So Quiver, you've got Handsome Charlie in your hand. The bullets have stopped. You can see a lot of people totally sort of freaking out now. They can see hands going up in the air, going like, we're just here to play poker, man.
Get off me, kid.
Yeah, sure. Listen up. So you are now in the, and yeah, I'm like totally letting Handsome Charlie escape, make his whatever. Yeah, and Quiver addresses the other ones. He says, "I'm Quiver. I'm here to make sure that the criminals are brought to justice. Anyone who isn't a criminal doesn't have anything to fear. So just surrender, drop your guns, and we will sort you out. I mean, the police will."
Yeah, like that'll happen. You don't realize, Bob, but we have this town under our control. The police do what we say. No police coming here. They'll take us in, they'll take our picture, and then we'll go all our way home. Get out of here, kid. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Quiver thought that Oriflamme is going to go away, but seeing that she's challenging him, they
I
are
can't-
challenging him.
I can't run away. If I run, is it too obvious that you've let me go?
Yeah. So Quiver turns to you and is like, he's confused and he says, "Seems like you don't know what you're doing. I know perfectly. We're going to bust you out and take you to the precinct."
So I think you need to probably provoke to get your way here, unless there's a specific playbook move that you would like to make Oriflamme to make your point and be seen.
Well, while this is going on, oh God, no! I'm trying to. I think I'm trying to actually cause a distraction to let the other criminals get away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm using. Oh God, what's it called? I've got so many windows open.
You're using your move.
Are you watching closely?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm basically just getting in everyone's face and basically keeping their attention on me to let the others get away.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if I roll more than a 5 this time. I rolled a 6, but that goes up to a 9.
And I suppose Quiver, not really sure what you are trying to do, just like totally buys in it, and like it's like so only focused on talking to you, trying to put a blind eye to whatever you are trying to do. So I will spend a team pool to give you 10+.
Okay, brilliant. So on a provoke, we go for a PC on a 10+. If they do it, add a team to the pool, so get that team back.
I think you were going. Are you watching closely?
Oh yes, sorry, brain's not working. I don't know why I thought that was a provoke. It's been an interesting day. So a
Go
10+. I get to choose 3.
Mm-hmm.
You confuse them for some time. Yeah, you avoid further entanglements, and you get an opportunity.
Cool. What's the opportunity? Just to get everyone to escape, presumably. Is that
To get everyone to escape? Yeah.
Okay? Do you want to describe what that looks like? That allows you to get people out and outperform the Gridlock Guardians.
I think in this instance we're actually at the. I've come up to you at the front of the club, and I'm literally in your face, back and forth. You come forward, I push you back. You come straight back at me, and at that point, then I think it's just literally my arms. There's dynamics there as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think of how I can do this without actually using. Oh, actually, no, I know. As you come forward, I basically pull the pin on one of your trick arrows in your quiver.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a huge flash of light as the flashbang goes off.
Mm-hmm.
And that blinds people long enough to actually get folk out for the criminals to run out the back door and the other direction from which Knox went.
Okay, yeah. So basically all the criminals escape, but we still have the...
You still have the person you came for, yes.
Awesome. And to build off, and Quiver isn't really sure what Oriflamme was trying to do, but after the flashbang wears off, he just like shouts into some direction where everyone run off. "We will get you, handsome Charlie. You will feel our boot on your ass."
Okay. Let's at that point, folks, take 5 minutes. So let's have a 5-minute break. We'll come back and deal with the aftermath of this.
Yeah, the two NPCs. I think Juanita could have been, following a hot tip, and Bluebird doing the brooding on the other side of the street up a rooftop.
When I think when the footage goes live, Juanita will definitely watch it, and I think she's probably impressed enough Dynamic that you can gain influence over her. Bluebird just thinks you're less of a jerk, and we'll leave it at that. But she's sort of watching and sort of sees this, going like, not that showboaty at all. And they say we've got Cheery Johnson, who is Knox has surrounded in darkness, and he's sort of quite freaking out with the rest of the team, obviously with the exception of disguised Oriflamme, who has left the scene. The three of you have Cheery Johnson surrounded, and he's looking up at Quiver, and he sees you, and he sort of sees this sort of the shadow of Knox and Dynamic, and his sort of, we can see this oh shit moment as he looks at all three of you. He's going like, Quiver, it's so good to see you. Look, whatever White Rabbit said, it was a lie.
Oh yeah, he just like approaches and just like punches him right into the face. He says, "Yeah, sure. So let's talk about the other members of the 5 families. So who's left? Except you? Well, you are out of business already. So Handsome Charlie, and who is the last one left for us to capture?"
So I'm going to let you provoke them to find that out. I'm going to give you a +1 onto that, unless you want to do something like pierce the mask or assess the situation before you hit the provoke mood.
Yes. I'm looking at my setup cripping, which one can provide me some good information. Yeah, let's go with the provoke.
Mm-hmm. So provoke is with superior.
Yes, so that will be +2. 5 + 2, it's 7.
Okay. So they stumble, they err, or they overact. That's my choice. I'm going to say they stumble, and you'll gain +1 forward against them. But effectively on that provoke, he goes, "Look, it's just a professor and Val Hammer left. There's only 2 families now." He said, and so it's just well, obviously, other than, and he says, "I've said enough. I want my lawyer," and he shuts his mouth.
Yeah. So I guess as a follow-up, we're gonna see Quiver just like very detective mode. Just like turns back to the joint we were just in, and and I think maybe like over the next some time, I'm trying to frame setup cripping over here.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to case this joint to find out whose place is it, because maybe that's the last person we don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it makes sense, but I'm trying to frame it that it will.
So the two is Val Hammer and the professor are the 2 leaders left. but he sort of shut his mouth before he gave away something else.
Was that a provoke?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was just wondering, do we want to interrogate more? Because I feel like Nox's shadow powers can be like, menacing and threatening and like sort of thing. I don't want to just start hitting him, basically, which is, I think, Dynamic's ability kind of stuff.
Quiver says...
From now on known as the Oriflamme maneuver.
Oriflamme maneuver. I think Quiver says, I don't think there is any need to do some more punching. I will take a look over the next couple of days who turns up and whose place it actually might be if it was not his place. So we'll find out who is the last person.
Oh, and I think Jem probably responds with, well, lucky for me, I think I've got something a little better than punching. And I think that Jem kind of manipulates the shadows so that like they kind of like tighten around our friend there. And I think that I'm probably gonna try to pierce the mask and just say, this situation isn't looking good for you. I think you need to, we'd like to help you, but you can't do much if you don't help us.
Awesome. Please roll to pierce the mask, which you're doing with mundane. Of course, you are allowed to switch your stat back if you want to have your mundane bonus.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8.
Including your mundane?
Yes.
Okay, so you get to ask them one question from the pierce the mask.
And with the +1 from the provoke we just had?
Oh yeah, so it's 9. So do you want to spend a point of someone want to assist with a point of team?
Sure, I'll assist with a point of team. And I think it's that like he's now like handcuffed by like bent metal wrapped around his wrists and everything, and he pulls him down as the shadows fall around, like swallow him whole.
Okay, so now you can ask 3 questions.
All right. So I guess one of them is who are you protecting?
They'll kill me. They'll kill me if I tell you.
I think that I'm gonna kind of turn to Oriflamme and then kind of turn back to him and say, well, your options are looking pretty slim if you don't tell us either way.
Is Oriflamme here? Can I?
I think Oriflamme has actually crept into the back of the scene while all this is going on.
Okay, so when they say Oriflamme, we're going. In that case, the answer is, Jesus Christ! Don't let that crazy bitch anywhere near me. Said, it's the Scarlet Lady. It's the Scarlet Lady. She's pulling all the strings. She's bringing people in. She's got the royalties here. I don't know what she's playing at. This is all her gig. She said she's going to make us rich.
You finished with him?
She's got 2 more questions, so...
yeah, I know. This is good cop, bad cop.
Uh-huh.
Let's simmer down here. I think that we are still having a very pleasant conversation, are we not? So then I guess let's see. What are you all planning to do? What's the end game here?
This is a land grab, plain and simple. This place, they're going to take it out. They're literally going to take it out and they're going to build it back up. And it's all about the land and the money. Neighborhood I've been tearing it down for years, and now it's time. It's been a plan. It was the professor's plan all along. Said, I don't want to go along with it. I like this place. I like this neighborhood. But when it's and he's rambling off.
Knox is gonna just kind of shake their head. You really are quite spineless, aren't you? But you know you have an opportunity here. And then I guess my question is, how could I get your character to be a spy for us inside the organization?
Said, I just want to like run gambling dens and numbers and sell a little dope. I don't want to be part of this. It's got too big. I'm too deep in. Said, I'll work with you guys if you know we can just get me out of this mess.
I kind of turned back to the team. I'm sure that we could come up with some kind of arrangement.
Then you can gain influence over Cheery Johnson.
Yes, if this will lead us to this Scarlet Lady, then I think it's worth the gamble. You get it? The gamble? Uh-huh.
Funny.
Yeah, sure. We can work together. We can be best friends. It's all cool. I'll even cancel the hits on Quiver.
Oh, so nice of you.
That's very big of you.
Then, of course, if anything happens to me before I can do that, then there's always going to be an assassin coming for Quiver. That's the way it's going to work, man. Don't kill me. Don't give me to Oriflamme.
Have you finished with them now?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Good. I'm going to walk over and put the pistol straight to their head. It's humming really loud.
Said, I did everything you asked.
Bang! And that's me shouting bang rather than anything.
He screeches and howls as you terrify the living what's name out of him. And
pathetic. It's been a while.
It's
Quiver?
been. Let's take a step back, Oriflamme, so we can talk without him overhearing us.
Yes, I could just cut off his ears.
Jesus. You hear yourself?
How does this winking thing work?
Yeah. yeah. I mean, dynamics are you vaporize someone, so.
Quiver plays for it, and he says, "Oh yes, you are the bane of the crime in the city. Everyone fears of you. You are so dangerous."
Let's step away from the scum.
So,
How are you doing?
It's been a rough time. I was just hoping to get the full story about what happened there, because the dynamic says you knocked him out. So
Yeah. My father went missing a few years ago. We've not seen sight or sound of him. Your father knew who he was, knew where he was, and he wouldn't tell me. I was trying to beat it out of him. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to kill him.
But did you?
I must have. I can't see how I must have. I don't know. This stuff I'm using, I'll take out the pistol. This isn't stuff from around here. It doesn't come with an instruction manual. I don't know if I fucked up and pushed the wrong setting or I don't know.
Yeah, Quiver will put a hand on your shoulder, and he says, "I don't think you have it in you to kill anyone. So I trust you. I trust it. If it happened, I trust that it was an accident, and he was a bad man, and I would really like this not to be a case between us. I would like you to come to the team and, I mean, after you finish with your imposing of some character, I would really like you to come back to the team and work with us on this. And whatever happened, I trust it was an accident, and I'm sorry if he said some words to you. Can I roll comfort and support?
You could do, but I was thinking about potentially the team moves as well.
Either or
Okay.
both. I think there's definitely comfort and support there, just the first instance, and then there are. I was going to say, yeah. Then you could do your hit any team moves.
Yes, I'm going to so I'm going to involve Sparky, who comes running around the corner barking, and it's really happy to see Oriflamme, and it's coming all to pet and wiggle his tail at you. So happy to see you. Yeah, let's go how this goes, and then we'll see next.
You weren't so happy to see me earlier, were you? And I'll rub my leg.
Yeah, it's an 11.
Brilliant.
As for your comment, I'm going to say, he isn't really good against the disguises. You could, when he kick at him, it doesn't work. I don't know, but I hope he didn't bite you so hard.
Sparky understands the tone and recognizes that you have not called them a good dog, so they do the sad dog face.
I'm sorry, Sparky, and I'll bend down. You're a good boy. Even if I shouldn't be using that phrase. And I'll pat him. So I think I'm going to clear a condition in this case. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And also, does Cyrus get to clear a condition as well, or?
I asked to the team pool because I have no conditions.
Okay.
Cool. Let me put one more into the pool then.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay. How does Dynamic react into this this loving?
I hold out a hand to Oriflamme as well, and like if she takes it and we shake, I lean in and I say, "I saw you beating up on his beating. Next time you lose control like that, you're going down, same as anyone else who loses control and starts hurting people. Yeah." You didn't mean to kill them. This time.
And I think that as we see Dynamic whispering that, and the look on Oriflamme's face is the perfect time to turn the page on today's comic.
Before we do that, I still have a team move to use.
Please do. If, that will be the last bit. If you want to clear any team moves or do anything like that, you're more than welcome to. But we'll close down after that.
So when you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, give them influence over you, and ask them who they'd like you to be. Mark potential if you show them that person. If they are a teammate, add a team to the pool no matter what. So this was earlier when I was going on about how I can't control my tech and how it doesn't come with manuals, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing half the time. I think you wanted me back on the team, didn't you, Cyrus?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll put my hand out into the middle. If you'll have me.
Yeah. Cyrus puts his hand on yours for like a team up.
Smile for the camera. And yeah, you know what? I'm like beckoning down the camera for the thing. I want to do a triumphant celebration for the show, maybe.
Yeah, Nox's hand kind of appears on top of everyone's. Is just kind of nodding very happily.
And I think probably Sparky's going to put the paw up as well.
Yeah, of course. He jumps and puts both his paws because that's how the dogs do it. So.
Okay. So we. Oh no! Carry on.
I was going to say I think the last frame of the comic is literally the flash, and then it's the photo. It's actually showing the photo that goes up online. Sorry.
No, that's fine. We see in the final panels of the comic, Jem's dad in his study, and he's lifting that where we saw the box earlier is that's open, and he's got the box on the table. It's open, and he's got the radio in his hand, and he's speaking to someone on it. We can see elsewhere in books and stuff a similar box and Mike Kovacs on a radio, and then there is another figure in the darkness. We can't quite see them, and we can hear them saying, "It's like, do you think we should tell them the truth?" And you can sort of hear Mike Kovacs go and say, "I don't know. I don't think they're ready for it." And then we see Jem's father, and he sort of takes the camera, the radio, and says, "If it's not time now, it never will be. They're going to be needed. This neighborhood needs them. We're not ready. Sorry, we're not able to do this anymore. They protect this place now." And the comic book page flips over, where we see this week's letters page is written by Kitty Bardges, consulting detective. How to find out when your parents are hiding something from you. Let's do end of session moves. Gridlock Guardians. I'm gonna go in impact order today because I really want to know how Quiver is feeling about this. Do you grow close to the team, into your image itself, or away from the team?
Yeah, I guess I have to say into my own image, because Quiver now sees that he has to he's now the man in the house, and he has to man up, and and he has to. The life of the teenage superhero is ended, and it's time to maybe start growing up. So yeah, he grows into his own image of himself.
Excellent. That seems legit to me. Then I'd like to know how Nox is feeling about what they've discovered.
Yeah, I think that Nox is growing in their own image a little bit more. I think that, kind of taking charge and sneaking through their parents' stuff is not something that they would have done really before. Taking on Cherry Johnson kind of alone isn't really Nox's MO either. Like, they wouldn't have the self-confidence to do that. So I think that, and with that,
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So you move your own labels. Dynamic, how are you feeling about yourself or the team?
You know what? I feel that, like, barring one in particular individual, I'm feeling much closer to the team, because I think that, like, without Oriflamme's influence, Quiver, Dynamic, and Nox have been cleaning house. So yeah.
Who specifically made you feel welcome then if you're going closer to the team?
I think that, I think the obvious one would be Quiver, but I think it's actually Nox, because, has been part of this thing, whereas previously it was like us two versus Oriflamme and Nox wanting to stay completely hidden. We've managed to get Nox into, like, the team kind of thing, the team ethos.
Does Nox have influence over you?
Yes, Oriflamme is the only person at the team who does not have influence over me. So Nox can shift my labels, and I will take another potential, which means I level up again.
And then that leaves us with Oriflamme. How are you feeling, Oriflamme?
For most of it, I think I would have actually said growing apart from the team, but that whole thing at the end with Quiver and the whole way that ended, I think I've actually grown a bit closer to the team as a result. And I think it's Quiver who's done that.
Go Quiver. Has Quiver got influence over you?
Yes, I believe Quiver does have influence over me.
Yes, I do have.
Because Quiver is an influence monster.
Yeah. So I get to shift your labels.
Yep.
I think I'm going to go freak up. Oh wow. Superior down? Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. So let's go into, after that, a round of stars and wishes. To see how we all felt about today. I'm going to go in the same order. Pavel give his stars first.
Oh, it was really really tough, really interesting sessions. A start to everyone for starting up cold and really going up with the emotions and ramping it up. It was really good scene at the beginning. I loved how Oriflame and the Dynamic fight led to some unforeseen consequences. It was really cool, and it was really cool that we somehow managed to part the teammate and then get back together to close to have some positive ending.
Excellent. Laura.
All right. Yeah. This was a great session. I was taking notes because I was like, oh, there's so many good things. Well, you had this really great quote that made me laugh. It was when Oriflamme was doing something, and I think Oriflamme was like pummeling someone, and Dynamic just it was a oh no, I think it was when Oriflamme killed Kilgore, and Dynamic said, "Good work, hero," and that tickled me. Garowin, I loved the Handsome Charlie stuff. I thought that was so cool, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So that was a lot of fun. Powell, let's see. Oh, I loved when you were punching Oriflamme. That was yes. And then I just always love when before you go into a fight, I am Quiver. I think that's just it's just really great, and I think it just suits your character so much. And then David, thank you for Kitty. Kitty is just such a joy to like interact with, and I just have so much fun with the character.
Awesome, thank you. Will?
Yeah, I enjoyed very much having Knox interrogate Cheery Johnson, and I liked seeing some of Knox's like super persona that isn't just hiding in the shadows and being stealthy and sneaky. And I did as well love Oriflamme's convoluted hidden plan. That was great, like pretending to be thingy. That was perfect. And I love Quiver, but one thing I actually thought, in retrospect, was really good was Pavel, the change from the suicide pill to the energy away, just because like it just felt more comic booky immediately. Now he's out there to be possibly back without having to go into some complicated like, oh, I have a healing factor and or it was a fake pill and I woke up in the morgue kind of thing, right? And David, I think the time passes was a really good thing to do because it kind of built up distance between events and things. So like, in the game we've been playing for a short amount of time, but in fiction there's obviously been like Oriflamme doing their secret mission on their own and us meanwhile like publicly breaking heads and kicking down doors. So we got to do both sort of if you forgive the word, dynamics of the team in one session.
Cool, thank you. And Gowen?
Well, I have to say, when we were coming to it, I thought last week was going to be the high point of the tension between the team. I did not see most of the stuff that happened this session come in at all. The interactions between the team are absolutely wonderful. This feels like a street level game. This feels like where you have these characters that are not necessarily all on board. This feels like the Defenders. And when it came out on Netflix a few years ago, not everyone's actually all pulling in the same direction. And I think that's actually a real strength in this a genre game. Laura, I agree with you. Seeing Kitty on the screen is a wonderful thing, but I think equally is your way of interacting with her. Jem's home life is a joy to watch, and I love it every time the family gets involved. Just to see what you're going to pull out and see how you react to it. Pavel, I was not expecting that reconciliation at the end. I love it. I also love the fact that you went along with the whole thing of actually trying to avoid the local jails and going to the feds. I think we're seeing Cyrus grow up so much as a character, and the character development has been wonderful to see. And William, Dynamic. We should really just make out at some point and then just actually we'll close the series on that and be done like She-Ra. But no, but joking aside, having this adversarial relationship is actually, I think, really good for the characters because they are two extremes. And it's going to be really interesting to see how they actually find that common ground, or even if they find that common ground. I think there's always going to be some bickering between the characters, just on the way to approach things. But I think hopefully that's going to end up more like an old married couple than than two people going viciously at each other.
Don't shoot me again.
It was a stun gun. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see that going forward. It's an absolute joy to play with you.
Awesome. Yeah, I celebrate that as well. I think too often in mass games, everyone just sort of gets along like super pals, which is not the best part of a conflicting superhero team. So the people that the tensions and who's friends with who and why they like each other or hate each other almost with you two in a love-hate sort of way seems to be awesome. Pavel, the internal conflict, the moral struggle you were going through, whether you should give your dad over or the rest of it, that was awesome to watch and role play. I had great fun winding Oriflamme up as Kilgore and Oriflamme breaking. And I do like playing Kitty Cat Bardges consulting detective, and the difference between Nox and Jem's voice were really clear today as Janice as well, which was awesome to see. So that was great. And look, a double start everyone for calling a script change because we pulled some heavy stuff, and it is quite right that we should check in and make sure we're all good with that. So that's awesome. Let's go back in reverse order for any wishes. Gawain, have you got any wishes for next time?
I'd still like to interact with my mother the mother at some point.
Do you want me to trigger that? Because you keep saying that. Is because I'm like I'm sort of waiting for you to frame a scene. But do you want me to trigger that for you?
Well, I think in the next session I'm going to have to go and visit her and try and find out more about my father. But I think that's something I'm going to be. It's something I'd like to do at the start of the session, if at all possible.
Let's put that note to that so I remember to open in that.
We seem to just get caught up on everything, and
yeah, there's lots of NPCs and bits and pieces we want to go and see, but it's like there didn't seem to be much of a that was pretty breakneck paced roleplay game with everyone cutting back and forth. So yeah, well, sorry, finish.
I was just going to say the whole thing with Handsome Charlie is something I've been trying to get in for 3 weeks now. So when we did the time pass, it just seemed the perfect thing. I keep on saying that it's an opportunity to people, and that's exactly what I meant. But I'd like to see.
We want to see that, bringing that to a head, right? And
I'd like to actually try and encourage a gang war so we can put them in a position to take down all the families at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Will, any wishes?
I want to get to the bottom of this Grey Ghost stuff, but I imagine that will be part of the stuff anyway. So I think my real wish is, I feel like, Dynamic and Oriflamme, we've established we'll bicker and everything, right? But I think we can put aside a lot of that sort of extended stuff, ongoing like snippets rather than full scenes until we get to the next point. And Quiver and Dynamic are like bros. I would like to have like some Nox and Dynamic, because I think there's like a tension between those as well, because Nox is quite like, I don't want to be on camera, like for different reasons than Oriflamme. And I would like to have some sort of, if we partner up in different scenes, I would like to partner up Nox and Dynamic somehow.
Cool. I'm sure we can do that. Laura?
Yeah. No, for me, I think that Nox is finally ready to talk to our lovely reporter who's been on their tail for these past couple of sessions. I think I want to see Nox develop in that way, and maybe start hearing more of Jem's voice and Nox's persona. If that's something on my part. So maybe a little bit of a selfish wish, but
There's nothing wrong with being selfish with wishes. It's helps me to sort of think about how to structure and frame a game. That's why I do it. So that's awesome. Pavel, for you, any wishes?
We really dived into this 5 families discussion. So that's wish from the chat they had was resolved. I think for the next week, I would really like to dive into the Grey Ghost. And a couple of sessions ago, we had this snippet of Safe of Zach Kilgore and some Grey Ghost uniform over there. I was just waiting for the opportunity to maybe take Oriflamme and plus that Safe and see what else is there. So I actually wanted to close it to save the session, but didn't get the chance. So hopefully next session I will have the chance to maybe visit that safe and see what's there.
Cool. So some scenes we really want. The Grey Ghost is something that we're obviously leaning into there. Dynamics. We want to thread some scenes together. So that definitely means we want to bring some Quiver. And yeah, okay, cool. Right, get that in my head and think about structuring for next time, which will be our penultimate session of this particular one. But we're coming back for volume 2, so that's all okay.
But I think
All
we
right.
have 2 more sessions.
We've got 2 more after this, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, we got 2 more.
But yeah, penultimate. So for, last but one is next time. So we've got 2 more, but we want to sort of, I think, draw some loose threads to an end last time before we get to the final showdowny type of affair. So
clearly, when we clear out the 5 families, we've secretly done the work of somebody else who's like, now the vacuum is open for us to move in.
Well, you spotted my master plan, which sets us up already for volume 2, right? So it's all good. Thank you as always, folks. It is a pleasure to role play with you and these characters, and the way that you all lean in and ask for the trouble, because it just makes my life great fun and easy. I'll see you all next weekend. Have great weeks.
Same to you. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.